I'm Talanoa. We're really thankful and awesome to have a very special guest this morning. We've got the Chief Executive of the Wellington Rugby League, Andre Whittaker, here to tell us more about Rugby League here in Wellington and also the future of the game here in the capital. So kia ora, Andre. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Kia ora, Tofiga. Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for the invite and to be able to, tell more about our game and a bit about our people and, like you're saying, what's happening in the future.
Nice.
Thank you.
Now, Andre, if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how did you get into working with Wellington Rugby League?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, I guess from a Pacifica background, mum's from Rarotonga, dad's from Tahiti, grew up in Nainai, and our family played for the Randwick club there, and so spent time as a footballer playing league for Randwick in Nainai, then played for Wainuiomata, and was very lucky to be part of their successful era that they had back in the sort of mid-late 80s and 90s. Took a break from the game, and then 18 months ago came into this role as CEO for Wellington Rugby League. But just prior to that, I had 2 months as chair at the Randwick club. I took a break from the game, came into the role as chair, and then this role came up, and here I am 18 months later. So yeah.
Wow. Now it's great to have you here, and finally to be able to just to find out how the scene is rugby league wise here in Wellington, and how things are looking for the future. So within the time that you've been a CEO at Wellington Rugby League, what have been some of the changes that have been made and the progress since?
Yeah, there's been a few things that have probably happened to the game over probably 5 of the last 10 years, and to be honest, the game was in quite a heavy decline, and to the extent where there was 5 years ago teams were defaulting, and you never heard of that in senior rugby league, and that actually became a consistent thing, which shows the numbers and volunteers in the game had drifted off, and participation. So like many other sports. So one of the things we've been able to do, and I'll just add in there, also COVID in the last couple of years has had an impact. But some of the good stuff that has happened has been introduction of a women's grade into rugby league. So we had 5 teams take part. The Valkyrie won that 2 weeks ago. We had this year 16s and 18s, 9s, boys and girls go up to Auckland and got a first, second, third, and fifth in the competition. So that's some really that's the growth in sport is around women. So we've achieved some of that this year, and then obviously with youth bringing that through. We've got 13 clubs. So last year we had 12, so we grew to another club came in from Featherston. Nice. So we've grown in the numbers of clubs, but it's been a tough year for everyone, particularly as COVID and basically physical fitness and people recovering from that, being able to take part in the sport. So it's been while we've had more numbers take part, it's been a bit up and down in terms of consistency, with teams being able to basically have players every week because of flu, injury, and COVID that's been affecting them.
Now, I mean, New Zealand, well known, for All Blacks and things like that. But I'm really passionate about rugby league and like a lot of our families in New Zealand, when it comes to State of Origin, our families split in half and things like that. I always wondered, was there ever a chance or was there ever talk about Wellington or our region here in Wellington bidding for a team in the NRL?
There has been, and it goes back probably 30 years ago when the Wellington Dolphins submitted a bid. I think it was about 30 years ago. And since then there's been I wouldn't call so much bid, but conversations with the NRL right up to last year. Had a phone call from the media in Australia saying, look, they'd heard of an expansion, there were business interest in New Zealand, and that Wellington was mentioned. So it's all been a conversation. Look, to take part in that, firstly we need the players and the base, and we can probably achieve that by combining with the South Island, say, and sort of the Hurricanes franchise, if you like, in rugby in terms of that area. And then we just need $30 million and we'll be fine to run each year and being able to do that every year. So that's the big thing is you need the money and you need to have the playing support. Certainly we have a lot of players here when you look at a wider region, but they would need to be exposed to a tougher level of competition to be able to foot it. Really, it's doable. We just need those things to come together. Yeah.
Yeah. Now with Wellington, now I know in Auckland it's huge rugby league, and they have a college competition up there. What have some of the challenges been? Because I know there's a lot of talent here in Wellington, and when kids start college, you find that, sort of like under 14s, 15s, 16s, and clubs don't exist because a lot of the kids are going to college, and obviously colleges, they play rugby union. What have been some of the challenges, or how are we trying to find a way to keep these teenagers, these young guys and girls playing rugby league?
Yeah, look, some of the challenges are obviously rugby is an entrenched Kiwi culture in the colleges, and that's a given. So our sport plays at the same time, so we're competing for the same athletes. So there's that tension, and then also overall, kids and youth these days have many more options. They're looking at kapahaka, they're looking at polyfest, they want to play volleyball, want to play basketball, league, and study, and the fact is they can't do all of them.
Yeah.
And for us, for rugby league, I don't want to use the word locked out, but we find it very difficult to maintain any momentum in the colleges.
Yeah.
So what we find is we need to play after rugby's finished, and so we've got a nines tournament coming up in September, and then looking at what the response is from colleges to field a 13-a-side team. So that's if you like, we need to make our stuff happen around rugby. It would be ideal if we're making it happen during the winter season, but then we're spreading resources where kids, players, grounds, coaches, all those sort of things come into it too.
Yeah.
So we have got a space, but it is there's a lot of challenges there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where would you like to see things be at with Wellington Rugby League in the next 5 or so years?
Yeah, definitely with having more youth involvement, that's the key for us. There's an under-20s national tournament, so being able to have a pathway where kids are seeing when they're 16, 18 that they can progress to this under-20s national tournament. It's a fantastic tournament, televised live on TV. The Wellington team competed in the Central Districts region. 90% of the players from Wellington, we won the competition 2 years ago. So we've got what it takes to get there. It's a pathway to there. To make that happen, we need to be having kids playing regularly in tournaments during the year, and not needing to wait until August, September when rugby's finished and have a go. Has been to have consistent access to the game, and that might not necessarily be the traditional club format. It might be around tournaments, and I think that's the sort of stuff we need to look at. Young people, there's been a lot of surveys around kids want tournament style sport. They want to be able to compete in a limited amount of time so they can do other things. We need to be wary of those things when we do our planning as well. Yeah.
So Andre, how can our locals here in Wellington find out more information or register teams like the Nines in September? Is there a Facebook website?
Yep, there's our Facebook page. So if you look for WRL, pop that into Facebook, and that'll show our Facebook page, and then that'll also lead you to our website. And on there will be our contact details, which are wrl@wrl.org.nz, and that email will come through directly to me actually, and we've got a small team, and we'll pick it up from there. Yeah.
Oh wow. Andre, also just a couple of last questions. Are you New South Wales or Queenslander?
I've always been a Queensland supporter, right back to the days of seeing people like Mal Meninga run on the field, and I understand he's a Vanuatu or Solomon Island. I'll go, there's one of our Pacific people. That's the club I'm going to support. So I'm a Maroons.
Oh, good man. Yeah. No, I should have asked you that question before, and that would have determined whether we were going to have an interview or not. Also, the other thing, who's your NRL team? Who are you hoping to make it in the finals?
Well, I've always been a fan of Canberra, and like the likes of Josh Fepulea'i. Love the way he takes the ball up, and look, we'll see how that goes. But I guess that's in line with Mal Meninga and being a teenage hero of mine. So been a Canberra fan for as long as I've been a Maroon fan as well. Yeah.
Oh, good man. Yeah, the old legendary Kiwi, old Ruben Wiki, was a great legend of the Green Machine. But I also love the fact that the eligibility laws with rugby league is awesome, because when you go to a World Cup, you know, as a rugby league fan, you're actually going to be paying tickets to watch the best in the world in all the teams. And it's been great to see a lot of our island boys choosing to play for their island teams at the next World Cup, so it's going to be massive. But Andre, any shout-outs or that you'd like to give to your family, friends?
Oh, look, probably just for the Wellington Rugby League, our next big event is next Sunday on the 27th out at Jerry Collins Stadium. The Orcas men are playing against Canterbury Bulls. First time Canterbury's been to Wellington for a game in 10 years. So that'll be massive. Free entry, come on up. Be a huge event. 27th of August, Wellington and Canterbury up at Jerry Collins.
Oh, nice. Well, there you have it. All our beautiful people here in Wellington. Make sure you catch that game out in Porirua at the Jerry Collins Stadium and go and support the Orcas as they take on, what's the Bulls, eh?
Canterbury Bulls, yeah.
Don't worry about those guys, man. But let's go Wellington once again. Me taki maata. Andre, thank you very much. Hope to talk with you very soon so we can find out more updates on Wellington Rugby League, and all the best with Wellington Rugby League, and most of all, God bless you and your family.
Awesome. Thank you, Tofiga. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Yeah. There you have it, beautiful people. That's Andre Whittaker, CEO of Wellington Rugby League, here on Island Time, 5:31 p.m. And we've got another special musika for you. Listen up. Yeah.